I came to be involved in Ezekiel's Landing because I worked with Valiant Dead previously on a short called The Black Suit. And I can't remember if we ended up talking about the project on that shoot or not, but I think James ended up mentioning it to me, so that's how I kind of met the crew and got involved and got in the loop.
I was a part of a project before that, short film, Agent Blue, and the director asked me to audition for this film for Emma Wright, and I went, auditioned, and it went really good. I was asked to be a part of it, and I said yes, and that's where we are now.
I came to be involved when Kate Chaplin actually posted about it, and I had worked with her a couple times before, so there was kind of that previous experience built in there. It's like, okay, if she's involved with it, then there's got to be something to it. And I messaged, and I think we'd actually talked through IFN at some point before. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll friend you and we'll set up an audition.
I can't remember exactly what my initial thoughts about Ezekiel's Landing were. I remember thinking, Ezekiel's Landing, that sounds like a wicked, sleek name. I remember that thought specifically. I also remember auditioning and reading we auditioned with the very first scene of the entire film. And I remember reading that scene with Naph and thinking like, this guy's a real douchebag. But then James, I think it wasn't until the actual audition that James gave me some extra information on the character and sort of his dual, what was going on underneath. And when I heard that, I said, yep, I'll have that role. Well, that was up to him, but that was my thought process. I'll have that role.
Well, I mean, I liked it because I like sci-fi films. I've watched sci-fi films and alien films since I was like little, and I was really excited to be part of it because it was a deeper story than most films you see nowadays.
I definitely loved the characters, and I loved the witty banter that went on. So that definitely engaged me very quickly. And it's like this, it's fun. It's self-effacing at times. It's very self-aware, but we get to have fun on this.
I didn't need much selling on Ezekiel's Landing, and I think that was mostly because of the black suit. I was pretty much sold from the black suit because I saw what James's team was able to do with little to no budget, or even forget the budget. Just I saw what things looked like on their camera on that screen and what they were able to do. And so honestly, I mean, and I don't say this to detract from Ezekiel's Landing, but I wouldn't have even needed to know the plot of the film. Honestly, I just wanted to, when you find a group of wizards, you have to do stuff with those wizards. So
it was, I don't know, I guess homey, because like everyone was working together. Actors were working with the people behind the camera, so it was nice, and everyone connected. It was just a good feeling on the set, so you just get that when you walk into the room, so it's nice being part of that.
You don't see a lot of people trying to do action, or any sort of effects heavy, sci-fi, fantasy stuff on, the indie level, especially around here, so that it definitely grabbed my attention. It's like, people are going to try to do this, and judging by who all was attached already, it's like, this could actually be something serious.
My proudest moment working on the film would have to be, I'm somebody as an actor who has a difficult time producing tears a lot of the time. And, I'll be able to do it during the practice run, but then when the actual take comes, it's like my tear ducts just dry up. There was a scene towards the end of the film, and I honestly don't remember having cried, and I'm still not entirely convinced that I did. I kind of think you might have edited that in, or there might have been a little bit of glitter on my face or something, but I remember watching that scene and seeing a little something wet there and saying, oh, okay, look at that. So that would be probably my proudest moment.
Coming out of my shell, I guess, I'm a shy person, and I'm not I don't show my emotions as much as a lot of other people. So this character, I really had to dig deep down for those emotions. So I was really proud that I was able to bring that character to life. The words came to life on the page. I was able to bring that character to life. So my proudest moment.
is going to sound really egotistical. Every actor has the dream of walking into an audition and being exactly what the director wants. And while I auditioned fairly early in the process, I knew it's like, well, somebody could walk in tomorrow and they could be better than I could, but it did really floor me to go through that reading, and the first thing out of everyone's mouths was, that's exactly what we're looking for in the character. And it's not something you see very often in the business, getting to go in, not just nail a good audition, but to have that voice to be exactly what they want.
The biggest challenge that I faced on Ezekiel's Landing would, without a doubt, be the cold. Particularly the night that we filmed at the silos, and I was running around with my shirt off. Fortunately, I had Mark was always there with a warm car, and Derek was always there ready to throw the blanket around me. But that was definitely it.
Learning all those lines, because this is my first lead. It's my first lead in a feature. I've always done shorts, and it's not a lot of dialogue in shorts, at least the ones I did. And the first feature I did was, I was playing a waitress, so that was really nothing, not a lot of lines, but learning the lines and memorizing them, that was probably the biggest challenge.
The one trick with playing a character like Cass is she is still very close to my personality, and it can be very easy as an actor, if you have a character that's too close to you, you just kind of fall back on your own things, and then it's the character that feels fake instead of the actor. So I had to be very deliberate and decide what makes up Cass, what are her quirks, what are her nervous tics. And some of them are mine, but I had to choose, that's what Cass does and here's why, instead of just letting habit fall in. The other thing was the cold. I'm always the first one to freeze. And that was the year that hell decided to freeze over until about mid-May. So lots of outdoor shoots in cold temperatures. That's where you have amazing people like Mark, the AD, who's willing to stand outside off camera with a heavy coat for you between takes and to just kind of keep you going in those late hours.
So what did you learn from the experience in a sense that affected your work as an actor?
Definitely a reassurance that I could play different characters. I did get cast a lot as myself, essentially, the quirky friend or the sidekick or whatever, and Cass had those elements, but she also had, a bravado and a certain go-get-em, willing to go into action kind of mentality that was different for me, and it was really refreshing to get to, one, have the chance to explore that, and then get to see it happen very well. Again, not to sound egotistical. And that lent itself to some of my future projects. I had a subsequent casting where they wanted to see clips of my recent stuff, and the director actually said, I really like everything I see you doing in this trailer for Ezekiel's Landing. And so it's like, yes, I have done my job.
I guess everything, just from the long nights, the long, not long rehearsals, the long just filming days, nights, and it helped me to just, have that endurance as an actor that you have to have to go through all these films and shoot the scenes over and over again. It's so different from stage. You're on stage, you mess up, but you just got to keep going. On camera, if you mess up, you can reshoot it if you want to. And it's also helped me just learn more about what goes on behind the camera, which I really, really like. And I started writing, so that was really fun to kind of talk with everyone who worked behind the camera. And I think that really broadened my experience as an actor, and more than an actor, just all around.
I think if I had to pick one thing specifically that I learned from Ezekiel's Landing, it would be the importance of making the cast and the crew sort of your second family for the duration of the film. a lot of times in this business you get cast and you come in and you work on a project, and because of the nature of things and how everything can be chaotic and disjointed, and you're shooting out of order and you're shooting what you can when you can, and I think there's a tendency to become sort of disconnected from everybody on set when that happens. But on Ezekiel's Landing, we put in some long days and some long hours all together. We went through some frustrations, such as lights deciding to fail and not work for a couple of hours just because, and so I think we all seriously bonded, and I think those off-screen relationships really supported the on-screen relationships. I think that's evident.